All right, good afternoon, evening, the rare weekday stream here on the glide slope today. After a frustrating attempt to stream VR live in Microsoft Flight Simulator FS24 Beta, Service Update 4, I think that's all right, I think that's all correct, over the weekend where things kept crashing. Source, undetermined, but frustration, real. So I said, screw that, and at least for a while, and we're going to do an old-fashioned in the sim view today. Yeah, we're in the physical cockpit. That's exciting. Today's flight is on the Utah Alphabet Challenge on Pilot Edge. About an hour en route in the SR-22. We're at Mineral Canyon on the edge of the Green River in a canyon that has minerals in Utah near Canyonlands National Park. The open question, can the SR-22 get off the ground and make the right-hand turn to get out of here before we slam into the cliff? I honestly don't know the answer to that question. We will find out. But to preview our route today, we are at Mineral Canyon, also sometimes called Mineral Bottoms, UT-75, used to take rafters in and out of the Green River. We've flown in here before on the glide slope with my buddy Shango, who used to fly here in the real world. And I actually found a video I have of us doing a low pass over Mineral. I will post it to the channel so people can see the real thing. Mineral, get out of here, hopefully alive. We'll probably have to come down the canyon a little bit. Then we'll come up, we're going to climb up to 10,500 feet, pick up advisories from Pilot Edge. We will then fly, not direct, but with a little hitch there at Salina 44U. To then head north up to Nephi. This is M to N on the Alphabet Challenge. About an hour en route, maybe a little less. Radar shows not much going on from a weather standpoint, which is good news. And if you want to orient yourselves here, this is Canyonlands, Moab right there. Here's Salt Lake City. This is the land known as Colorado. This way to Vegas, down here. Area 51 may or may not be over in here somewhere, where all these red boxes are that say that you can't fly. And we're over here. And if you really want to orient yourself, yeah, we're there. So, that's the general route, and we're going to get things started here. We're going to follow the checklist today. Let's presume that we've already done the walk around. We take the caps cover off, and we've taken the caps pin out for the chute in case we need it. External powered, we don't have brakes are held. We have the parking brake is on. Battery 1 and 2 masters on. Wait for the bus voltages to come up so we can check on those. Here's our MFD so we can see what's happening over there. I'm so happy now that you can actually just tell X-Plane that you want different displays on different screens, and it does it automatically. It's a huge help. These screens come up in every Cirrus. They are basically knowing your minimums and your limits to make sure you're within bounds for what you are doing for your personal weather limits. And the standard, I'm safe, illness, no, medication, no, stress, no, alcohol, no, fatigue, no, emotion. You know, I think we always have emotion, but I'm not feeling highly emotional. Consider density altitude. How about density altitude plus the cliff we have to try not to run into? Takeoff distance, it's short. Climb performance, we hope we have enough. Fuel performance, we have 40 gallons each tank. Landing distance, we'll have plenty when we get there. Weight and balance, we have run it. Just so you know how that stuff works. I actually believe we're at 80 tanks. I added 80 gallons, I added one. There we go. So now we look at our bus voltages, they look good. Circuit breakers, they're all punched. Strobe lights on, nav lights on, mixture full, rich, power level 4 forward, fuel pump prime for a few seconds. And then to boost. Power lever open 1/4 inch, prop area clear, clear prop we would yell. Then we see if things will start. Come on, baby. There she goes. And that's a little hot. I might turn that down just a little bit. Hopefully that's better. Let me know how the audio is if there's anybody watching. Okay. Magnetos have done power level 1000 RPM. Bring her back just a little bit. And we also lean her a little bit while we're at it. There we go. Turn on the 2 generators. Turn on the avionics master. Check the engine instruments, make sure they're looking good. In particular, oil pressure and heat. Heat's coming up, pressure looks fine. And ammeter. That looks good. We are charging just a little bit because we got the strobes on and we got the nav lights on. Okay, start sequence and checklist is complete. 122.9er. We're already on that frequency. That's what we would announce here. I might as well go ahead and see what the local Salt Lake center frequency is going to be. It looks like trying to see where the yeah, so we're just across from Denver. So it looks like 12755 is going to be the Salt Lake Center frequency, so we'll switch over to that. Okay. I have to peek up to see down with my glasses because I'm going blind. Alright, so before taxi we would call just in case there's anybody out here. Not getting a push to talk on this yoke. That's interesting. Okay, I calibrated it, but this happens sometimes where I have to calibrate this stick in Windows before we fly, which is a bit of a pain, but I don't know what it is about the Noble Flight Simulations yoke, but it seems to be a persistent problem. So we're going to try to fix that now. I'll pull up the control panel real quick. I might as well just do this before the stream start in the future. Sorry that we're breaking the immersion here for a second. And I select the joystick, the control panel, set up USB game controllers, Cirrus yoke, advanced, settings, calibrate. Move the yoke all the way around. Huh. It's not reading this button at all. That's interesting. Wonder why not. Maybe a quick plug and unplug of the USB cable will help. Let's just do that real fast. Now let's try it again. Huh, yeah, this button is not reading. The reading is inoperative. Well, I need a push to talk button, that's for sure. Let's try calibrating again. Now it's recognizing it. Strange. Alright, well, I'll send the guys at Noble Flight Simulation a email and ask them what's up with that. Alright, so we will go ahead and call. anybody at Mineral. I'm sure no one is coming. But let's just take a look at. I'm not seeing any traffic. It'd be very rare to have traffic here on Pilot Edge. But we'll find out. So it's a Mineral traffic, Cirrus 15 Julie Golf, back taxiing. We're going to be departing on 15 Mineral. It's almost always a departure on 15 here. I don't believe there's a windsock for us to know. So, I guess we could check Canyonlands, but the bottom line is down here in the canyon, you have no idea really where the weather's going, where the wind's coming from. So, alright, feet on the brakes. Parking brake is off. Lights is required, flaps up. They are. Voltage was good. And the motor just quit. This happened before. It seemed like it was really finicky on the mixture. Let's see if we can get it to start again. It was a couple flights ago this happened in the torque sim. You guys remember that? So then I had to go the hot start route, where we basically run the pump for a minute. Then mixture full rich. We'll see. We got yoke problems, we got engine problems. This is supposed to be a simple, easy little flight. I haven't even looked at the chat yet. Got no fuel flow. That's interesting. Make sure we're on full tank. I got fuel flow there. Come on. Come on, you know you want to. Alright. Let's hope that doesn't happen when we're trying to fly down the river. We'll keep our RPMs up just a little bit and keep that mixture full forward. Let's see what we got. Trash laser guitars. There you go. Glad you can hear. Hey Nate, great to see you. Gremlins in the system. There's always a gremlin in the system. That is the nature of the game, is the system with the gremlins. Okay. But that's all looking good. So now let's go ahead and continue the taxi that we had said we were going to make. Now it's giving us an anti-ice level and quantity, although I set the system so they were full before we started, which is weird. Alright, so here we are at Mineral. Not exactly the strip the Cirrus was built for. This looked amazing in some ways in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but I couldn't get the damn thing to run without crashing. It was the sun was on this spot when I started, and then the sun went behind the canyon rim, which was cool. Looks like we have the right. Looks like we have the right. The right way with the wind. Just adjusting the cockpit visual just a bit here. I don't want those things to show up top there. There we go. That's pretty good. Alright, we're going to take every inch of runway we can get here. What could go wrong? Again, if a Cessna 230 or whatever it is can do this, we can do this. Okay. Mineral Canyon traffic, Sirius 15 Julie Golf departing 15. Mineral will be going down the canyon to the southwest. Mineral. Okay, parking brake is off. We're on the brakes. HSI, everything looks great across the strip. Caps handle is out. We're not going to go ahead and do a run up today. Aileron trim set where we want it. Elevator trim is set for takeoff. Flight instruments are good. Controls are free and correct. Flaps 50%. Check those. Make sure that they are down. They are. Fuel pump to boost. Fuel selector to full as tank. It is. Make sure we want it to be at the maximum RPMs we can get. We are. Lights is required. They're good. External landing lights also. Doors are latch time. Note. All right, everybody pray. Birds. Looks like there's lights down there. There be no lights. There's no road here. It does have a road down here. That's unrealistic. That would be Semhaven that made it the road. We made it. Don't stall the airplane. Yeah, so I've got the extended lights add-on for X-Plane, which allows you to see roads far in the distance, and because it's nighttime, it has the lights on these roads. That's unrealistic. But we survived that takeoff, so we got that going for us, which, as we like to say, is nice. Flaps coming up. Nice view of the river there. And we can actually climb even a little better than this, or VY. Yeah, Semhaven gives you amazing overlays, but it does unrealistic stuff with houses. I think the houses don't look real. And then these extended night lighting. Yeah, that's what those lights were. It just basically puts lights on every road so that you can see lights way in the distance. I need to turn off a plug-in over on this machine. Let me go a little easier on the stick here, get us trimmed here. There we go. Turn off the Cirrus plug-in on the slave machine because we don't need it and it takes frames. Here we go. Okay, we got out of there alive. Let's go ahead and enter our flight plan. We were UT. And then we're going to go to 44U. I'll put this on here so you guys can see it. And then we're going to go to U14. I should have done all this while we were on the ground. And we'll go direct to there. You out the side window. We're going up to 10.5. Let's altitude, bug our altitude. 10,500. And we get back to our course where we have the sun coming down. Yeah, when it's sunset, that extended night lighting looks great, but I don't like the way it looks at dusk. Not a fan of that. Okay, so we're climbing. We've got a route. Let's go ahead and turn on auto. Let him fly. Or her. Okay. Into the sunset we fly. All right, let's switch over and see if we can find Salt Lake Center along the way here. I actually think 133.6 might be the correct frequency for them. We'll see here in a second if we hear anyone. Yeah, so you can see out that window some of the lights. It's great for city areas because city areas have lots of lights, but when you're out in the country, most of these roads don't have lights, so it's a weakness in the system. But it makes it so you can just have lights, see lights from far away. Well, I don't hear anybody, but let's call them and see if there's anybody there. Where are we going? We're going to Uniform 14, 10,500. Okay, so procedure for getting flight following, you make a VFR request. When they come talk to you, they may or may not give you a squawk code for the transponder right when you start. Regardless, you tell them who you are and what your altitude is that you're climbing to, and that the destination you'd like to have and the altitude you want to fly en route. And then if they have time, they'll give that to you. So we'll see if anybody's around first of all. Once again, my push to talk isn't working, so I need an alternative push to talk switch. I wonder if this one's working over here. It is. Okay, I'll use this one. Salt Lake Center, Cirrus 15 Juliet Golf VFR request.
November 15 Juliet Golf, Salt Lake City Center, squawk 3353, say request.
3353 for 15 Juliet Golf. We're type SR22. We'd like advisories at 10,500 to Uniform 14, please. I didn't tell my location, but that's okay. You may ask me for a flash.
November 15 Juliet Golf, your radar contact 20 miles northeast of the Hanksville VOR. Just verify the destination airport was Uniform 14, Uniform 14.
Correct, Uniform 14. That would be the burrowing metropolis of Nephi.
Number 1 Juliet Golf, maintain VFR.
VFR for us, thanks. Burrowing metropolis, is that what I said? Burrowing? I think I meant to say burgeoning. It's the end of a long day. I talked a lot today. There's a lot of talking today. Not a lot of thinking going on right now. Let's see what we got going on here. Cubs win. Good to see you.
Challenger 118 Charlie Echo, Jackson Hole ground, runway 19er, taxi via
Trash, laser good terrace. Great question. It is not a wrap out around a screen. It is 3 monitors. This is a 60.
Juliet Golf, Carbon County, altimeter 3011.
11, thanks. So a couple things, like he didn't make, I should have told him where we were in relation to the Hanksville VOR, my bad. I should have told him what altitude we want to go at, but the Western network for the U.S. is not very busy for them right now, and they probably know my voice and know that I'm experienced and I'm a pilot. They don't bend rules very often, but sometimes, they're not as quick to jump on you if you make little mistakes like that. Ortho looks great out that window. Clouds look great out that window. So 3 screens, so a 65-inch monitor wall-mounted, and then these are 2 27-inch displays. And then I've run the trigonometry and figured out the eye points and everything to get them to line up pretty well for where the camera is. Usually before I stream in the cockpit, I will set up at a runway and ensure all the lines are aligning. I didn't do that tonight, so it might be off just a little bit, but looking at the stream, it looks like it's pretty good. Cruise checklist. Climb checklist. Oxygen as required. Power level 4 forward. We are mixture lean as required. You could lean to see if you get any more RPMs out of the machine. A little more power. We got it. A few percentage power. Leaning just a little bit. Doesn't hurt. Fuel pump is still set to boost. Airspeed 110 to 120. We're doing 119. That's perfect. Flaps are up. Engine instruments are green. And trim is where we want it. And we're flying with autopilot, so trim's taking care of itself. Should be dark when we get to Nephi. It would be, it has lights, it has a lit tower. It would normally have, I assume, pilot-controlled lighting. But, let me read the job chart for it. No, that's the wrong one. I still subscribe to Jepson charts even though I don't fly anymore. Let's see. AWAS is 118.27. We might as well put that in on COM2 while we're at it. 11827. Let's watch that over, and we can just listen to COM2 while we're going. Pick that up when it gets in range. Its Unicom is 12375. Might as well write that down so I don't have to look it up later. 075.
118 Charlie Echo, Jacksonville Tower, runway 19er, winds 2.
And it's 1735. I like to make a little diagram. Here, I'll show you guys. I like to make a little diagram of my runways so that I can visualize my pattern entries a little more easily. If we look at the chart for Nephi, standard pattern, so we'd be making left traffic depending on the weather. So we'd either be making left-hand turns into 3.5, or if I flip it around and look at it the other way, we'd be making left-hand turns onto 1.7. That's helpful. 10,500, we're at our altitude. We can run the cruise checklist. First thing, fuel pump off. Then we are going to run our lean assist process, regular watchers. Wow, great look of the water pocket fold coming up there. Doesn't that look great? I sure have fun doing this alphabet challenge. Like, flying over all these parts of Utah has been really great. I grew up there, but I still feel like I've seen parts of this state that I haven't seen. And it's cool. Okay, leaning process. We'll go to our engine page. We'll hit the assist button. Now we will lean the mixture until we get a maximum EGT. Usually it's around, I don't know,
1 Charlie Echo,
1575.
Charlie Echo, contact departure, CL.
Let them keep coming up. Where's traffic? It's not giving me traffic in ForeFlight. That's weird.
Salt Lake City Center, Challenger 118 Charlie Echo, 9,000, climbing via the SID to 16,000.
Climbing via the SID. Standard instrument departure.
Radar contact. Climb via SID, accept maintain.
That's what that would mean.
Via SID, accept maintain, level 230, Charlie Echo.
Alright, we're coming up to 15. It's like about 1510 is where we're peaking out today. 1520. So now I'll lean it until we're about 60 degrees, lean of that. You can see the peak delta. So 10, 15, that's right here. You can see it on the MFD. Usually it's about 55% power, give or take, maybe 50. It is a little too cool. We're giving up too much economy. And our fuel flow has gone down to 13 gallons an hour, 14 gallons an hour, something like that. go a little cooler than that. Then you just sort of set it. Unless you have an altitude change, you can set it and forget it. Okay, good. All right, we're running best economy. Keep an eye on the fuel balance, cabin heat, defrost, air conditioning as required. I feel fine with all of that. All right, cruise checklist complete. Turn off our landing light while we're at it. Everything else is looking fine. And the sun is setting over the Utah wilderness. Okay, let's look at the chat. Hello, Robert. Thank you for checking in. Hello, Roland. Thanks for watching. Yeah, I was hoping. I thought, you know, I kind of want to do a stream tonight. My wife and daughter have gone to a concert, and so they're out. My son and he made dinner. It was great. Kid's a great cook. Just turned 18. We had leftover Chinese food from the other night, and he turned into this fried rice with potatoes and onions and stuff, and chicken that he chopped. He sauteed. He made a roux first, and then he put everything in the roux, and then he reheated some lo mein, made it spicy, put in chili oil, all this stuff. It was great. And delightful. I didn't have to make dinner. I just had to clean up. Nice view of the cliffs in the distance there. And that looks great. Doesn't that look great? That looks great. All right, so this is the 11th, 12th leg of the Alphabet Challenge.
Challenger 8 Charlie Echo, climb and maintain flight level 380, contact Salt Lake City Center 12872. See ya.
I wanted to do this in VR, but I tried the other day and it just got so frustrating. The stream kept crashing, and it was in OBS. That OBS is the broadcasting software I use, and it was crashing in that. I'm not exactly sure why. I'm trying to use a filter in OBS that reduces some of the jitteriness of a VR view. You know, you can get nauseous watching a guy's head whip around. So it smooths that out some, which looks quite nice. But it just kept crashing, and I finally just said to hell with it. And besides, like, this is beautiful. It's really immersive in VR, but this thing is great. Okay, we're coming. We should check our profile here. One of the cool things that ForeFlight gives you is a profile view. So we've got clearance of about 1,400 feet, which is fine. Over the mountains. If we want, we can fly up high I-70 if we don't want to go over the top. If we were taking the safest possible route, we would do that. But it's a short hop over the mountain, and we could glide. We could glide very close to I-70 regardless, and really in a Cirrus, you're going to pull a chute before you're going to land on the highway and risk other people's lives, especially when there's so much open terrain around. But we'll just go direct. I'm impressed we got out of that canyon. I wasn't so sure. Truth be told. Truth be told, my grandmother was Dutch. Okay, this thing up here coming up on the right is called the San Rafael Knob. So there you go. I think I see it coming just into view now. Between us and that's I-70. Just about to go under the wing pit right about now. All right, let's see where we are. So we took off from Mineral, came down a little bit, made a turn. Oops, I don't need to do that. And then the San Rafael Knob is on the chart, actually, right there. Here's I-70. If we were flying just with pilotage, this would be a point where we would go, okay, I know right where we are. We're between the San Rafael Knob. We just kind of crossed here because it was directly off our wingtip. So we're right in here. And then we cross 70. Little town of Emory coming up. and we've already made really good progress, almost more than halfway. All right. Looks like I need to adjust my camera just a little bit. There we go. I want to rebuild my glare shield, but I'm hesitant to do it. Glare shields can be tough to get right, at least for me. But I was thinking about making something that, this is just a piece of foam, and then I've got a piece of particle board, MDF, underneath it, so, you know, I could set all kinds of stuff on it. But I think I actually want to take a piece of molded MDF that actually has the exact curvature of the panel, and then I've seen people wrap them in kind of a foam wrapping and then put the leather out over the top. This is just a piece of 1-inch foam. It would look a little more realistic.
09 Echo, contact Oakland Center.
What's nice about this though is because it's floppy, I can just pick it up and move it around as opposed to having to take it out of a whole set piece. But it doesn't look quite completely realistic. I guess it looks good enough, but anyway, I obsess. Yeah, Camilo, thanks for checking in. It is looking good. Nate, the sky ratings. There are sky ratings? What are the sky ratings, Nate? Nate is saying that in Pilot Edge now there are sky ratings. Tell me these sky ratings of which you speak. Nate, sky ratings. Storage compartments. Storage compartments? Any trekkers will get that. I happen to have the Pilot Edge website right here in front of me. Pilot Center. Cat ratings and I ratings, but I see no sky ratings. So maybe let me know what that is. Maybe it has nothing to do with Pilot Edge and is something else entirely, which is more than possible. Yeah, it looks like the sim's a little off-center. Maybe I need to move it this way just a little bit. I think it was better before, now I'm screwing it up. That looks pretty good. Okay. The sky ratings. Sky High Charter Services on a Pilot Edge. Ah, yes. Sky High Charter. That's where you fly different charter missions, right? I actually created a custom GPT in ChatGPT to create Pilot Edge missions for me. Let's turn on the fans. One of the best things I did was finally get these fans working. For 10 years I was in this simulator sweating myself to death. And now I got these fans working, man, it's like air conditioning. It is awesome. Yeah, so you could basically, it could auto-generate a mission for you between two airports at an altitude and everything. It was sort of cool. I showed it to Keith Smith and we were sort of talking about different ways you could do that. But, oh, fuel imbalance. Okay, time for us to switch tanks. Pump on and switch. We still have positive fuel flow. We do. Pump off. But I was thinking that would be cool to be like, oh, what I want to fly, and you hit the button and it gives you a mission. It gave you a description, so it was cool. It gave you a description of like the departure airport and the arrival airport, and if it was VFR, some of the things you would see along the way. It was really kind of cool. Didn't plan a whole route for you, like an IFR route, which is probably for the best, but it was kind of cool the way it worked. No, I thought I'd fixed this screen to 60 FPS, but it's running at 100 right now. This one over here is running at 30, because I've got it set to 30. And then I use frame reprojection on the front monitor to take it up to 60. Which it is doing. Okay. We're cruising along. CFI. So Nate, now Nate, when did you? So I'm looking at the chat. One of our viewers who's great is Nate. Nate is your CFI. When did you finish? When did you get your rating? When did you get your ticket? I don't remember. Looking out the right-hand window, we see Emory, Utah coming into view. Emory traditionally has a really good little football team, and I mean little because the town has like a couple hundred people in it. But Emory has a tradition of football, which is sort of cool if I remember correctly. Up the road from there is the town of Farron, and up the road from there is the town of Castledale. I've driven through Castledale before. This is an interesting little part of Utah that most people never get to or think about. There's actually an 11,000 foot peak here. It's part of the Wasatch Range, the kind of the southern end of the Wasatch. And then Fish Lake Mountain is on this side. But it's pretty remote down here. There are no national parks nearby or anything like that, so it doesn't get a lot of attention, but it's an interesting part of the world. Okay, we've crossed I-70. Sorry. We've got our sunset cranking. It was, uh-oh, that doesn't look good. Come on, screen. There we go. It was nice using the much more sophisticated G1000 system in Microsoft Flight Simulator, though. Those guys from Working Title Simulations have made an awesome nav system for simulation.
10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 135.1, Squawk 4417.
Let's hear this read back and see how this guy does. Oh, we're only getting one side of the conversation. I certainly wasn't paying close enough attention.
371, read back correct.
Oh, you got it right. Mission accomplished. All right, we are just about .24 miles from our next waypoint. And then we pretty much fly directly north until we get to Nephi. That's only going to be about 15 minutes. So once we make the turn at Salina, we'll start thinking about descent planning. Wow, this looks great over here. That canyon looks really good. And we're seeing the fall colors. X-Plane has changed its foliage for autumn. All right. And again, we wouldn't have streetlights over all that stuff, but so it goes. It's not hard to toggle that off. I use X-Organizer to manage all my scenery. And we'll just imagine that there are streetlights. Boy, that looks really good. This is the most recent beta. For X-Plane, it updated today when I was loading. So presumably it's looking okay. Want to see how stuff's... The horizons look good. They look lined up nice. What's the ETA? Camilla, the ETA, estimated time of arrival right now is 22 minutes. 22 minutes. So we should be down by 9:55 Eastern Time, give or take. Maybe 5 minutes, little 3 or 4 more minutes to allow for the pattern. Here's our most narrow point in terms of terrain as we come over this mountain range. Again, I-70 is right out this window. We could have just followed the highway if we didn't want to risk the terrain, but again, with the Cirrus, we would be pulling the chute and not hoping to land on a busy interstate. Yeah, and we can go ahead and plan our top of descent, so I'll show you guys. Let's see, Nephi is 5,022 feet, so pattern altitude would be 6,000 feet. So we'll go back to our flight plan, and we'll tell it that we want to be at 6,000 feet MSL when we get there. And you can see it's telling us that our top of descent is in 14 minutes and 45 seconds. 715 feet a minute is a little fast for me. No reason to make our passengers that uncomfortable. So we can just make it 500 feet per minute descent. And then if we go back to our map, we can see about halfway on the way to, a little short of halfway, you can see the T/D signal. That's when we'll start our top of our descent. I'll go into VNAV mode on the flight simulator, on the autopilot before we get there, and the autopilot will actually fly us down. This looks nice. Nice and nicer. It really looks great out this window because you can see down to I-70. Airplane's moving around a little bit. Great. Again, if you're into flight simulation, like, these are the halcyon days. Look at that. That's fantastic. Fall colors, the whole 9 yards. Nice high clouds we don't have to worry about. This is good. Yeah. So that's the ETA. All right, we're coming up to Salina. You can actually see it up here out the window. Salina got us Salina is just this side of the airport. Actually, this is Salina down here. Airport's a little bit north of it. That's the little town of Axtell. And then we'll fly right up this canyon with this valley that you can see coming into view here. Okay, we're listening for the weather. I haven't heard anything yet. We're a little far away for it. My G1000s aren't quite in all the way. That's okay, I can pop them in later. I was messing around behind the panel. Pop this one out a little bit. But if we were really in the airplane with
371, San Francisco ground, Roger. Runway 1 left, taxi Alpha Mike 1.
with real weather service, we would be able to get the weather on the screen here, which we can see down here at the bottom. It says it's 310 at 5 knots. Scattered 22,000. Alright. 310 at 5. Roger that. That would mean we're coming in on runway 35. Which means we're going to make straight in to 35. We're not going to bother with the pattern. We'll just call from, well, it's sort of bad form to make straight in, actually, unless you're on an IFR flight plan. There are people in the pattern and you come bombing in, it tends to piss people off. So we'll actually fly up a little bit to the west of the airport and come in on the 45 and do things by the book. That's what we'll do. All right, our turn's coming up. Then we're going to lose the sunrise out the front view. We'll have it over here, though. Unfortunately, I can't switch to that screen because it is on the slave machine and not connected to OBS. I could always run some weird...
09 Echo, if you have an approach bus in the Reading, I can hear you now.
09 Echo, I'd like to request the ILS 34 and vertical land 16 to visual.
I just hit VNAV.
09 Echo, copy your
I just hit VNAV on the autopilot, so it should bring us down on that vertical descent path once we get to the top of descent. Here comes our turn. I gotta get back into instrument procedures.
Roger, I'm using information 0, or information Zulu right now, 09 Echo.
Number 09 Echo, run.
Here comes our turn.
Southwest 1980 Yakima ground, you're cleared to the Joslin Field, Magic Valley Regional Airport. The Grombo 4 departure. In transition that is filed. On departure, I maintain 10,000. Expect flight level 35010 is after.
Boy, that looks nice.
Departure speed 123.8, clock 5445.
Okay. Sorry, I was a little awestruck just by the view.
Southwest 1980, read back correct.
Alright, so if you don't do the automatic vertical descent planning using your navigation system, the easiest way to do it is to just figure a 500 foot per minute descent, not presuming there are no obstacles getting between the way of you and the airport, which we don't have. And the easy way to do is just go, okay, well, if we're at 10.5 and we want to go down to 6, we want to lose 4,500 feet. At 1,000 feet a minute, that'd be 4.5 minutes. At 500 feet a minute, that'd be 9 minutes, right? So, so about 9 minutes out of your target, you want to start your descent. And if you have anything telling you what your estimated time en route is, our estimated time en route is 13 minutes. Then we would say, well, okay, well, in about 4 minutes, we start down. There's another also way to do it with your figuring your speed. If you're doing 120 knots, then you're going to be...
371, 10 tower, runway 1 left, 300 at 14.
Then you're doing 2 miles a minute. And so you could actually figure distance. Say if we need to descend 20 miles out, then we got to start doing that 10 minutes before we get to our arrival point. If you're figuring 120, we're doing 140, so we'd shave it down a little less. But there are rules of thumb that you can memorize, and none of which I really remember. Boy, that looks great out this window. I wish you could see it. It looks really cool. Let's disengage auto for a second. Show you real fast. Rudders, they work. Okay, you're coming in very broken. Could you repeat? You're coming in very broken, Solly. Could you repeat? 07, thanks. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll drop advisories at this point. Thanks for the help. All right, squawk and VFR, thanks. Rather than you know, have him then give me another handle and everything else, because we're going to be landing in a few minutes anyway. Let's just take a look at this sunset then, shall we? Boy, that's great. All right, let's get auto. Let's have auto get us back to where we want to be. There we go. We'll go vertical speed. Take us down to 10.5. Auto wants to fly us directly at our route. Oh, we did a full circle. It took us around on a whole loop. That's funny. All right, well, no, it's taking us back to 44U because it doesn't believe we... No, it's got us. Here we go. It just needed, sometimes they need to like get themselves pointed and like where they're going and, you know, all the stuff. Okay. Hey Camilla, thanks very much. I appreciate it. I really try to make the content good, especially since I just saw an airport out there. That was Manti Ephraim. Saw it, green, white light. You know, as a pilot who doesn't fly anymore, like for me, I want to try to keep it sharp. To what I would hold myself to from a standards perspective in the real world. And now we can go and, do we still have that vertical descent path plugged in? We do. So let's go ahead and hit the VNAV button. Alright. We're coming to our top of descent now. You can see it coming up here on the MFD. So now it should start taking us down, and it is. Turn off the vertical speed button. And now it started the automatic descent. If you look at the PFD, you can see there's a magenta caret that shows what the descent rate should be, and there's also one that shows what our vertical path should be. And it's taking us to that. I'll go ahead and cut full mixture first of all. Then we'll cut some power and we'll run our descent checklist, and then I'll talk more about the content. Okay, we planned our descent mixture. We've got a smooth operation, power level stage. We don't need to be running 60%. I used to like to descend at like 50% power in this SR-22. If I'm remembering correct. I mean, you don't need to go in there slow. I mean, you can keep flying it fast just as long as you're slow enough by the time you get in the pattern. Our altimeter 3011 is set. We haven't picked up their AWAS yet at Nephi. Again, it's saying it's 118.275. I've got that on COM2. I'm not receiving anything. Let's see here. On the waypoint screen. It just has CTAF and tower. Whoever did this airport didn't have the AWAS in there. So it's not listed. That's okay. Come on, vertical path. It stopped our vertical descent there for some reason, not quite sure why. keeps chasing me with the top of descent ahead of me. That's interesting. I wonder why. Let's look at the... First of all, let's keep our speed up. Let's try entering the whole thing again and see if it works. And... let's see if it does it. My lights don't go on in the lights on my autopilot are not real bright, so I can't quite see what's on there. But in terms of the content, yeah, I just try to make sure that it's like I go, what would I like to watch if I was watching stuff? Cabin heat defrost fan is required. It's nice and cool in here thanks to the fans. The landing light is on. Fuel system looks good. Fuel flow is good. We're on the fullest tank still. And brake pressure. Yep. Okay. Descent checklist complete. Now we've got our carrots showing again here for our vertical descent path. We're going a little slow. I can speed us up a little bit. We don't need to be going 45% power till we're closer. Sorry for the camera bumps. And this is why now we can see lots of lights in the distance. This is why you really do the extended night lighting mod in X-Plane. I wish I had a way to differentiate rural from major roads though. Maybe I should write the application to do that. I don't have the time or energy to do that. Who am I kidding? Okay, so come on, give me VNAV. Let's go down at an indicated airspeed of 175, see if that does it. No? Alright, well, I'm just going to take us down. Enough of this. There we go. I clearly don't have the buttonology right. It worked the other day. Glad to see some people watching. What the hell? Come on. Alright, let's just do this. Do it the old-fashioned way. Take it down to 6,000. Take us down at 800 feet a minute. How far out are we? Farther out than that. We're 5 minutes out. Okay, well, we got to lose 4,000 feet in 5 minutes. Got to go down 1,000 feet a minute, don't we? Now we're coming down. Let's get ready with our landing checklist. Let's get ready to switch over to their CTAF. It is 123075. Remember I wrote it down earlier? 1075. Enter. Swap. Wrong. Radio. There we go. 123075. How far out are we? 12 miles. We'll call it 2 more miles. Looking for the runway and the airport. I actually got the airport. It's right here. And again, we're going to come around and enter on the 45 and make a left downwind into 35. Let's set our heading bug for 350. It's always good to bug your runway heading on your PFD. Starting to look like a night arrival. Before landing approach, we briefed the approach. We're doing a visual approach. We're going to come in on the 45, do a left-hand pattern into 35. Fuel pump is to boost. Fuel is on the fullest tank. Mixture full rich. Flaps, not yet. Autopilot, we'll disconnect in a second. VREF is going to be 80, 85 knots. Okay. We're coming down to 8,000. 10 miles out, we'll go ahead and we'll make our call. My PT push-to-talk switch is not working for some reason. Nephi Muni traffic, Sirius 15 Julie Golf, 10 miles due south, 8,300. We're going to be maneuvering over to the west, entering on the 45 for left downwind into 35, Nephi Municipal. Okay, made our call. If you see this cyan ring on the MFD, that's just, watch our speed here. Now it's doing our vertical descent path correctly. Interesting. And it should keep the top of descent right on top of us if we're coming down on the right descent path. So now it's good. Now it's flying it. Okay. More power to us. So you can't see it now, but there was a cyan ring or arc. There, you can see it out there. That's where we would hit our expected descent altitude. Obviously, you want that before the airport. But at this point, we're going to disconnect auto and manual flight anyway. Let's keep ourselves trimmed. We want to enter the pattern about 100 knots so we can start to slide down. I don't know if you can see the blinking lights, but the airport's right there. Let's move over here so we're out of the departure path. That would be good. That would be good airmanship. Okay, we're at 7,800 feet. We're coming down. Part descent coming. And again, 7,000 feet is going to be our 6,000 feet is our pattern altitude. See the town coming in off the right. $7,500 feet. Okay, let's check again. Nav on, strobe on, landing lights on, flaps are up, mixture full, rich, prop staged, power pump is on, prop staged, mixture staged, power staged. Mixture full, rich, power staged. That's what I'm trying to say. That still looks pretty cool out there. Oh, we just got brighter for some reason. Nephi Municipal, Sirius 15 Julie Golf. We're about 3 miles southwest. 7,200 descending pattern altitude. We'll be entering on the 45 for left downwind into 35, Nephi Muni. I hit my push the talk switch to make that call. Okay, that's 1,000 feet. Warning. Nephi Municipal, Sirius 15 Julie Golf, 3 miles west. We're going to be maneuvering to enter on the 45 for left downwind into 35 Nephi. I gotta debug and diagnose this push to talk switch. This is not bueno. Okay, we gotta watch out for terrain here. I don't know what their altimeter is. I feel like we're low. Let's look at the weather. They're saying they are 3007. That's what we got. Okay, well then it just feels low. You can see the airport off our wing there. Now it's starting to slow down. We're going 136 knots. Coming up to 6,000. Arrest our descent. Almost ready to make our turn. You want your 45 to take you to midfield, roughly. And once we're about 45-degree angle to the airport, we can do it. Stay pattern altitude, don't get sloppy. All right, I'll look at the chat in a second here. Okay, now we can make our turn. Nephi Municipal, Sierra 5 Juliet Golf is on the 45 for left downwind into 35 Nephi. You can keep her coming. There we go. There's our airport. Roll out. We can go ahead and turn on the base. Nephi Municipal Sierra 5 Juliet Golf is left base, left downwind for 35 Nephi. Ourselves trimmed. Okay. We'll lose about 10 knots. There's our runway right there. We're at 100 knots, which is right where we want to be. Let's keep our pattern altitude here. We'll fly a nice tight pattern. Okay, we'll beam our takeoff point, landing point, first flaps, and we start coming down. Make sure the flaps are down. They are. About a 500 feet per second, per minute descent rate. I always count about 7 seconds and it's time to turn. Nephi Municipal, 015 Juliet Golf, turning left base, 35 Nephi. Take a quick peek. Look good, final flaps. 88 knots, that's nice. Nephi Municipal, Sierra 15 Juliet Golf, turning final, 35 Nephi. Here we come. A little high, just take power out.
500.
Even for the numbers. Look to the end of the runway. A little hard. We're alright. We didn't blow anything. Take the power just a shade early on that. Landing lights off. Well, this thing doesn't have taxi lights, so we'll keep them on. Okay. Welcome to Nephi. Wasatch Mountains in front of you. Nephi Municipal, Sierra 15 Julia Golf, clear of 3-5, taxiing to the ramp, Nephi. Okay. Flaps up. Power level set. Pitot heat is off, fuel pump off, flaps are up, lights as required. Let's keep the stove and the nav and the landing lights on until we are at parking. Taxi to parking, say parking, parking. Okay, so that went pretty well. We had good, our debrief, we had good altitude discipline, better than we have in the past couple of flights. Getting my feel back for that. Took the power out just a little early. I like to try to land nearer the end of the runway than the IFR landing markers. Just, and I also like to try to land. I like to try to do a power off landing. Like you never know when you're gonna have to land as a glider. So I like to kill the power a little early, but it killed it a little too early that time. Or at least I didn't manage my energy very well, is the bottom line. But again, it was not we didn't bounce, we didn't porpoise or anything. It was just, I would describe the landing as firm. Firm, okay. Shutdown checklist, then we'll look at the chat. Parking brake set. Foot off the brakes, we're good. Flight plan is closed, fuel pump is off already, power level 1000 RPM, and air fan and conditioning off, avionics, electrical switches. And then mixture idle cutoff. Keys off. And then keys out. Okay. What time is it? 10 o'clock. We did all right. Okay. Thanks everybody for watching. Next flight in the challenge is from Nephi and to, Ogden maybe? I will tell you, hold on. I know the answer to that question. It is to... Yep, Ogden Hinckley. So basically, that'll be fun. We'll fly through the Salt Lake Bravo. So we'll do a Bravo transition with the VFR transition route through the Salt Lake Valley. That should be a cool flight. We'll do that in the SR-22 maybe this weekend. I don't think I'll have a chance to do it between now and then. And I'll put that video up of the actual live pass over Mineral Canyon that my buddy Shingo and I did a couple, 15 years ago. I'll put that on the channel too. That's cool. That's worth seeing. Everybody, thanks for watching. If you have questions, go ahead and post them in the chat. I'll answer them as best as I can. And if you're wondering about specs for the flight simulator for the PC, I've got plans. If you want to build something like this yourself, it's all at ontheglideslope.net. And you can find all that there. And everybody, thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. I've lost my mouse. I can't hang up. We're going to have to stream forever. There it is. Thanks, everybody.